Turning now to the COVID pandemic. It's been 2 years since our fight against this virus began here in Maryland, and a lot has happened since the first case was detected in our state back on January 30th of 2020. But it wasn't until March 14th when Baltimore reported its first case. As cases continued rising rapidly across the state, on March 30th, Governor Larry Hogan imposed a stay-at-home order for all of Maryland, with the exception of essential workers. Statewide mask mandate was then put in place on April the 18th. And while there was plenty of uncertainty on what this virus would do next, after shutting the state down for almost 2 months, Governor Hogan lifted the stay-at-home order on May the 15th. 7 months later, in December of 2020, a major breakthrough. The state's first COVID vaccine doses were administered at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore.
And since those first doses were given out, almost 4.5 million Marylanders have been vaccinated against COVID. And with our key COVID metrics continuing to trend downward, some are wondering if an end is finally in sight. It's a valid question. WJZ live at 11 o'clock tonight. Kelsey Kushner had a chance to speak with doctors on the progress that we're making. And the question is, what comes next? Kelsey.
Rick, well, if you take a look at the numbers right now, I mean, if you compare them really to earlier this year with the Omicron variant, everything is heading in the right direction. And doctors say that there is hope on the horizon.
Business is booming again at the QG in downtown.
Masks come off and people were back in the office, and people are looking to, they feel safe, they feel comfortable.
A statement echoed throughout the city.
Well, I think people are getting more comfortable with where it's at right now.
I'm ready for that to be over. You know, I, of course, wore it on the plane on the way up here, but that's about maximum for me right now.
The Omicron surge once had Maryland strapped for resources and businesses wondering if we were heading backwards. But after weeks of improvements, mandates are now lifted, with state officials saying hospitalizations, case rates, and Maryland's positivity rate all at their lowest points in more than 8 months. And doctors say hope is on the horizon.
I think we're at a very good place in terms of the pandemic.
Dr. Amish Adalja at Johns Hopkins says there's a lot of immunity in the population, as well as antivirals and monoclonal antibodies. And even if there's another wave, he says the country is getting to a point where the virus can be managed.
We will see waves, we will see mutations and new strains that will cause increases in cases, maybe outbreaks, there might be hotspots. But over time, those are going to be less linked to hospitalizations.
With vaccinations and rapid tests now more widely available, some people say they're optimistic an end is near.
Got the vaccines and I've got the booster, and I would do that again if that's what it called for.
And health experts say based on CDC data, the U.S. might be in for a pretty normal spring or summer season, but that all depends on the number of cases, the decline in cases, and the number of people who continue to get vaccinated. Reporting live tonight, Kelsey Kushner for WJZ.